What's good, YouTube? And we're live on Twitch only right now with a live reaction to the Fortune Fairies, not the Fortune Ladies. This is an interesting twist on what's happening. I have no clue if these are Fortune Lady support, if they'll be mixing, but I assume the Fortune cards would mix, so let's go ahead and get into these. I've read none of these. I have no clue what they do. Fortune Fairy N is a level 2 fire spellcaster monster, starts 0/0. You can only use this card's name's first and second effects once per turn each. When you draw this card, you can reveal this card, special summon this card from your hand. Okay. If this card is special summoned from your hand, you can target one set card your opponent controls and destroys it. Seems like these are completely their own archetype, and the first one is based off when you draw it. So it is a somewhat generic effect. Maybe it's like trying to draw cards, get them out this way, and get their bonus effects. Maybe there'll also be ways to like stack them on the deck and get them lined up. We'll see. So a new level 3 and wind instead of the fire from before. This is also a spellcaster though. This is Fortune Fairy Who. It is a spellcaster effect monster, attack 0/0. You can only use this card's name first and second effects each. Yep, when you draw this card, you can reveal the card and special the card from your hand. If this card is special summoned from your hand, you can target one of your banished spellcaster monsters, add it to your hand. So we have generic spellcaster support here, but again, only on the turn it is drawn. Now, I guess other draw support would work with this too, such as extravagance. It doesn't say when you draw it during the draw phase or anything. These are drawn periods. So we're looking for draw power that can access. Maybe they'll get some in-archetype draw power. Fortune Fairy Sway, and she looks pretty emo, is a level 4 water spellcaster effect monster, attack 0/0. You can only use this card's name first and second effect once per turn each. When you draw this card, you can reveal this card and special summon it from your hand. If this card is special summoned from your hand, you can target one other face-up monster. Banish it until the standby phase of your next turn. So it's trying to take care of your opponent's problems. This is a level 4 here. It's a water Abyss Dweller booster. But realistically, I'm starting to realize, it's also like you can special summon any of these from your hand with Saryuja too and get their effects, and they are all super generic. It's very interesting. Then we get into Fortune Lady An. Level 5 Dark Spellcaster Effect Monster, attack 0, defense 0. You can only use this card's name's first and second effect once per turn each. When you draw this card, you can reveal this card and special summon it from your hand. When this card is special summoned from your hand, banish a spellcaster monster from your deck. That sounds more Fortune Lady-ish. Interesting. This is very interesting. Wait, are these based on the Fortune Ladies? 1 second. Level 2 is fire. 1 second. I have the Dueling Book up, actually. I want to check this out real quick. Yeah, the level 2 Fortune Lady is a fire. The level 5 is a dark. The level 4 is a water. The level 3 is a wind. These match up perfectly. 1 second. I'm sorry. I have the wrong capture here, but chat, look. This is actually like fire, level 2. And then we get over here. 2 is fire. 3 is wind. 3 is wind. So it does match. They're like Chibis of the Fortune Ladies.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Are these Fortune Fairies?
Yeah, these are Fortune Fairies.
The Fortune Fairies were called these before she turned evil, but they were vanillas in the anime.
Okay, so like these are fresh breath of life, but they're all generic. Then, so the banishing effect is the first real crossover we're seeing. This is pretty dang cool. Okay, so the level 6 here is the Earth. Spellcaster effect monster 0/0. You can only use this card's name first and second effect once per turn each. When you draw this card, reveal it, special summon it from your hand. If this card is special summoned from your hand, you have each player draw a card. So it gives and it takes. None of these are surprising me too much, though. It's not like, oh, generically, this is so good to rip off your deck. Unacceptable result. Your parents are not happy with your grades. Quick play spell card. If you control a spellcaster monster, special summon a Fortune Fairy monster from your hand. So it's a -1 to get to where you want to be to activate their effects. I'm not digging this much at all. And you have to control it. So you have to already control a spellcaster. Yeah, I'm not digging this card, but it's cool. The art and everything. Miracle Stone. Continuous spell card. You can only control one face-up Miracle Stone. It's continuous spell. Spellcaster monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense for each Fortune Fairy monster you control with a different name. So you're trying to summon a bunch and get them all big. Once per turn, when an attack is declared involving a Fortune Fairy monster you control, you can draw one card. Attack declared involving. So does that mean if your opponent attack? It sounds like you've got to be attacking with them, right? Attack is declared involving a Fortune Fairy. So if either player attacks with a Fortune... No, you control. So yeah, it would have to be your own. I think that's the only way to deal with it. Attack is declared involving. That is such weird wording. And then we've got Luck Alone, a normal spell card. You can only activate this card with this card's name once per turn. Target a Fortune Fairy monster you control. Special summon a spellcaster whose original level is 1 lower than that monster from your hand or deck. There it is! The card that ties it all together. But then they wouldn't be special summoned from the hand if you use the deck effect for the free advantage. During your next turn, after the turn this card is resolved, you cannot normal summon special summon monsters except spellcaster monsters. During your next turn. So that's interesting. This is a new development in how Konami's applying restrictions. They're giving you a restriction during your next turn on what you can and can't summon, including normal summons. This is actually the most interesting part, perhaps, of these cards to me, besides their genericness, is a future restriction on summoning on a future turn. That could apply towards future gameplay and other things. Overall, the Fortune Fairies, I've got to say, I'm not the most impressed, but at the same time, they're cute. I like how they're constructed. I like how it's different. I like how it's generic. Overall, I enjoy the design of these cards. Now, what I don't really enjoy the design of is the new Vision heroes here. Let me go over them really quickly. So, the first 3 have these similar effects. You can only use this card's names first, second, and third effect once per turn each. If you take battle or effect damage, so not reliant on the opponent, but you would have to ram into your opponent's card or inflict self-burn. Not paying cost, not instant fusion, stuff like this. Effect damage. You can place this card from your hand... you can place this card from your graveyard face up on your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. So that it will be a quick effect. It's counted as a trap. During the main phase, if this card is a continuous trap, you contribute 1 hero monster, special summon this card. So specifically main phase only, quick effect. You contribute a hero monster to special. And if this card is special summoned from the spell and trap zone, you can destroy a level 4 or lower monster your opponent controls. I wish it was any monster, because Link summoning's a thing, Xe summoning's a thing. Not everything's going to have a level, especially level 4 or lower. I feel like they put too many restrictions. First off, all those effects are hard once per turn. Keep that in mind. All hard once per turns. Also, the third effect payoff, the first 2 effects are the same. If this card is special summoned from the spell and trap zone, you can have a monster gain 800 attack. Oh boy, a boost of 800, a change of 800 for all that trouble. You've still got to tribute the monster. So, like, the main thing is it's putting Dark Hero bodies on board that you can mass change with, I guess, for any monsters. But again, you've got to get to the battle or effect damage. So for this one, if this card is special summoned from the spell and trap zone, half the attack of 1 monster on the field. Again, though, they'll see it coming. It's the main phase. They can then do away with whatever it is. We've got Vision Hero Gravito. This is where it gets kinda good. You can only use this card's name first and second effect once per turn each. If it's normal or special, you can target a banished hero monster and add it to your hand. Then you can also tribute this card to target 2 Vision Hero monsters in your spell and trap zones and special summon them. So on summon, it gets advantage back from the banish though, so you have to set up with a lure or something. And then it can become a put 2 out on the field kind of thing. Vision Hero Fairies is a 1600/1800, but a level 5 here. And you can only use this card's name first and second effect once per turn each. You can discard 1 other hero monster to special summon this card from your hand. So you could do like Shadow Mist, getting it out on the board at least, and like trying to get an effect for the sin. If this card is normal or special summon, you can take a Vision Hero monster from your deck, except Vision Hero Fairies, and place it face up in the spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except hero monsters. So, for getting the special summon out, and using the optional effect for just the advantage to the back row, you are now limited for the rest of the turn. Another limit on this spell card, Vision Release. Target a Vision Hero monster in your spell and trap zone, special summon it. So it's a -1 in order to launch something from the back row. During your main phase, except during the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard. So restriction, it's got to be there for a whole turn. This won't be good till the next turn. Then target a Vision Hero monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. I wish this was just Foolish Burial Goodsable. Like, you already hard once per turn all the Vision heroes. So, like, what would be the problem with getting it back the same turn as a resource for something like Vision Fusion, which has insanely cool artwork. Let's take a moment to appreciate this card's artwork. I'm happy with basically that artwork out of anything in this whole archetype. You can only activate this card's name's effect once per turn. Fusion summon one hero fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as a fusion material. If you have fusion materials in your spell and trap zone treated as continuous trap cards, you can also use up to 2 of those as fusion materials. So, like, Vision Hero Trinity is probably the most realistic one, and that takes 3, so you can't use 3 back row heroes. Somehow that would be too powerful if you got to that point. So it's just weird. All these restrictions feel weird to me. I know there's 9 pages of hero cards on Dueling Book. Like, there's so much to be abused between stuff like Destiny Hero Malicious and Vision Hero, like your original Vision Hero, and like, I don't know. It just feels off to me. We got Apparition, is likely this card's name. Apparition shoots again. Normal trap card, you can only activate this card's name once per turn when a face-up hero monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or a card effect. Special summon 1 level 4 or lower Vision Hero from your deck. Then you can half the original attack and defense of 1 monster your opponent controls. So, at least not reliant on the opponent for the card effect destruction. That's kind of cool. And also that you could ram it by battle. It's still a trap card. It's still going to take its time, but it's a cool concept card nonetheless. Overall, though, too little, too late. I'm not as big of a fan of these hero cards. Like, it's cool that they can pop out and do their thing and you can mass change them. I get why they didn't want them to be super busted, super crazy. And let's see. Oh, the level 1 Fortune Lady. All right, so that appears to be out. Thank you, chat. Oh, the final one. Fortune Fairies. This one does not miss timing, at least, well, sometimes. This is a light spellcaster level 1/0/0. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn each. When you draw this card, you can reveal it, special summon it. If this card is special summoned from the hand, you can target 1 monster you control, send it to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon 1 level 1 spellcaster from your deck. Okay, that's pretty interesting as a generic-like card. Okay, I have to give it that. Like, level 1 spellcaster support in general, that could be busted one day and have a high ceiling. I like that. But with the Vision Heroes, it feels like just heavily choked and restricted what they could do, considering Vison was pretty insane, and the fusions are actually pretty good too. It feels like they really wanted to restrict that instead of making Trinity. Trinity is powerful, I get it, but I still feel like you could have peeled back the restrictiveness a little bit of this. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I know that was a lot of cards to cover, but what do you guys think of the new, not Fortune Ladies, but Fortune Fairies, the little Chibis? And what do you guys think of the Vision Heroes? Am I being too harsh? I really like the card design here. I prefer Fortune Lady as an archetype, but at least you can abuse them somehow.
I prefer Fortune Lady as archetype. At least you can abuse them somehow.
True, Numa. Like they're generically made. Like, they are made like you could play these in any deck kind of thing, but there are some more so spellcaster oriented effects, and you could draw them outside of your draw phase and attempt on them. It's just still, it's still weird. Like how restrictive the Vision Heroes are to me. But again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I sometimes get stuck too much on card design when I'm looking through things like this, and I did a live reaction. I was just kind of shaking my head the whole time, like, man, I wish they could have given them a little more oomph. I want heroes to return to the meta. I'm kind of a fan. Well, it is what it is, though. This is what we got. So what do you guys think of what we got? And do you feel differently? Do you feel like, hey, I'm pretty happy with this. This is not the best, but I'll, you know, take it into battle. And what do you guys think of the Fortune Fairy support overall? I think the cards are extremely cute, at least. But, again, generic, interesting, and spellcaster support. I'm happy with it. And I do agree. I kind of like Fortune Ladies as a concept more myself. But I'm biased as an old duelist.